We all rely on medical devices every single day, right? From, a simple bandage to these incredibly complex implants.
Absolutely. Things that literally change lives.
But how often do we really stop and think about the journey they take? That unseen path before they even reach a doctor or a patient?
Hmm.
And maybe more importantly, how do we actually know these things are safe and, effective?
Hmm.
That they'll work when it really, really counts?
Yeah, that's exactly the question, isn't it? And that's what we're really going to dive into today. We're
Yeah.
pulling back the curtain on this incredibly complex, really meticulous journey of a medical device.
Right.
From that very first glimmer of an idea all the way through to being on the market and even, beyond that.
Wow.
The goal today is really to connect all the dots we've talked about before, the regulations, the quality systems, the testing into one sort of holistic story.
Okay, let's unpack this then. For you listening, our mission is to really explore this whole medical device development life cycle, start to finish. You'll see how all these pieces fit together, the strict rules, the quality checks, tons of testing, even clinical trials, how they slot into every single phase.
Exactly.
Think of this as your essential guide, maybe a shortcut, to understanding this world that's honestly crucial, but often works behind the scenes. It affects all of us.
It really does. And every single medical device, like without exception, it starts with someone identifying an unmet medical need. That's phase one, conceptualization.
An unmet need. Okay, so someone sees a problem or maybe a better way to do something.
Precisely. A gap in care, an opportunity to improve things for patients. That's the spark.
So, okay, you've got the spark, the need. Where does a company even begin? Is it just like brainstorming, or are there really specific first steps they have to take?
Oh, it's definitely specific, very regulated right from the get-go. That brings us straight to design input.
Design input, right.
Manufacturers don't just jump in. They have to establish formal procedures, processes to make sure the design requirements they come up with are appropriate.
Appropriate meaning.
Meaning they directly address the device's intended use. What is this thing supposed to do? And crucially, who needs it? The user, maybe a surgeon, maybe the patient themselves, their needs are paramount.
Okay.
And you absolutely need a system right from the start to deal with any requirements that are, incomplete or maybe ambiguous or even conflicting.
Makes sense. You need clarity.
Total clarity. And all of these requirements, they have to be documented, reviewed, and formally approved. It's like setting the foundation stones before you even think about building walls.
This really is the absolute bedrock then. Everything builds on that.
Exactly. And running right alongside that from the very, very beginning is risk management.
Risk management. We've talked about that before.
We have, and it's so critical here. In many industries, it might feel like a checkbox exercise, but not in medical devices.
It's different.
Completely. It's not an afterthought. It's expected, mandated to be embedded deep within both design and manufacturing processes. Think about standards like ISO 12971. It's not just a guide, it's really a whole philosophy. It forces you to think proactively about what could possibly go wrong.
Before you even build anything.
Exactly. Identify hazards, estimate the risks, control them. It's about designing safety and from the absolute start, not trying to patch problems later. This initial risk analysis is vital to make sure the benefits are truly going to outweigh any potential risks.
That makes so much sense. So does that proactive approach, thinking about risks so early, does it actually slow things down initially, or does it save time later?
Oh, it absolutely saves time and, frankly, a lot of money down the line.
Right.
Finding a major flaw late in development, that's a nightmare. Costly redesigns, huge delays. Doing the risk work up front avoids that.
Okay, so we've got the concept, the need is defined, initial risks are assessed. Now it's time to actually design the thing, right? This feels like where the engineering really kicks in, and maybe the paperwork too.
You nailed it. This leads us right into design controls. These are required, mandated by FDA regulations like 21 CFR 820.30.
Design controls. Got it.
And this phase means intense documentation. Everything gets captured in what's called the design history file, the DHF.
The DHF. Okay.
And look, the DHF isn't just a pile of papers. It's the device's definitive story. It's biography almost.
Like the proof.
Exactly. If anything is ever questioned, the DHF is the evidence. It meticulously documents the entire design and development journey. It proves the device was designed following the user needs, the regulations, the company's own procedures.
So it includes everything.
Pretty much. Design reviews, the inputs we talked about, the outputs, the verification steps, the validation, risk management activities, any design changes, it's all in there. It ensures complete traceability. You can follow every decision.
Wow. So the DHF is basically the device's design autobiography. Every
Wow.
decision, test, change, all documented. Proof the blueprint itself was solid.
That's a great way to put it. And once you have that blueprint documented, you move into design verification and design validation.
Okay, verification and validation, they sound similar.
They're related, but different. Verification asks, did we build the device right? Meaning, does the output match the input specifications we set?
How do you check that?
Usually through documented tests, inspections, analysis, but validation asks a different question. Did we build the right device?
Meaning?
Does the final device actually meet the user's needs? Does it fulfill its intended use in the real world or simulated real world? That often involves testing under actual use conditions.
Okay, so verification is built right, validation is built the right thing.
Exactly. And you need rock-solid documentation for both. They prove the design works and that it solves the problem it was meant to solve.
Okay, have a great design, a verified prototype, that's one thing. But actually making it consistently, reliably, at scale, that feels like a huge leap. How do companies make sure the design translates perfectly to the factory floor?
That's where design transfer comes in. It's absolutely critical.
Design transfer.
Manufacturers need formal procedures to ensure that brilliant design is translated correctly into practical production specifications, clear instructions for manufacturing.
And things change, right? Designs get tweaked.
Oh, constantly. Well, maybe not constantly, but design changes definitely happen. It's an iterative process, so there are very strict procedures for any design changes.
Like what?
You have to identify the change, document why it's needed, validate it, or at least verify it, review it, and approve it before you implement it.
Before.
Absolutely before. The key is ensuring that change won't negatively impact quality or safety. That whole process, that's called change control.
Here's that proactive approach again, always thinking ahead.
Yes, exactly. And this mindset is really the heart of quality by design, or QBD.
QBD, okay.
Instead of the old way, make it, then test it, find the problems. QBD is about building quality into the process from the very start.
Like planning a recipe.
Perfect analogy, like a master chef planning every ingredient, every step, every temperature to guarantee a great result, rather than just tasting at the end and hoping.
So with all this focus on documentation and proving things, what about all the testing that happens during design, before you even get to humans?
Yes. That's where non-clinical testing comes in, and it operates under good laboratory practices, or GLP.
GLP, right. Heard that one before.
Yep, 21 CFR Part 58 in the U.S. GLP isn't just about doing good science. It's about ensuring the data itself is totally reliable, like trustworthy enough to base safety decisions on.
So what kind of tests are we talking?
Rigorous lab studies, things like analytical tests, sensitivity, linearity, cross-reactivity, precision testing, basically proving the device works reliably and accurately in a controlled setting.
Okay. And you mentioned equipment.
Yes. A huge part of GLP is equipment qualification. You can't trust the test results if you can't trust the equipment doing the testing, Ria.
Makes sense.
So it's usually a 4-step process. DQ, design qualification. Is this the right tool for the job? IQ, installation qualification. Is it installed correctly? OQ, operational qualification. Does it work properly across its range? And PQ, performance qualification. Does it perform consistently in the real environment?
DQ, IQ, OQ, PQ. Wow. That's thorough just for the testing gear.
It has to be.
So what does that level of rigor for the testing equipment mean for patient safety down the line?
It means everything. It means the data supporting the device's safety and effectiveness is solid because it comes from tools that are proven reliable.
Right.
And part of that's calibration, too, making sure measurements are accurate and precise every single time and documented. You can't have faulty measurements leading to bad decisions about safety.
Okay. And then for some devices, the really novel ones or high-risk ones, you eventually get to clinical investigations, testing in actual humans.
Absolutely. For those devices, yes. You need evidence from humans to show safety and efficacy.
And that's heavily regulated too, I assume.
Extremely. In the U.S., it's mainly 21 CFR Part 812 that covers investigational device exemptions, or IDEs.
IDs, okay.
That works together with Part 50 for informed consent, ensuring patients understand everything, and Part 56 for institutional review boards, or IRBs. Those are the independent ethics committees.
Right, the ethics review.
Exactly. For devices deemed significant risk, the company, the sponsor, needs formal IDE approval from the FDA before starting the trial.
And that application includes?
The whole plan. The investigational plan, the detailed clinical protocol, all the previous non-clinical test data showing it's reasonably safe to proceed, and the lead doctor, the investigator, signs a formal agreement, FDA Form 1572.
It sounds like just an enormous amount of planning, ethical checks, and regulatory hoops before even one person participates in a trial.
It is, and it needs to be. And underpinning all of this, every phase we've talked about are good documentation practices, or GDP. Remember the saying, if it isn't written down, it didn't happen?
Yeah.
That's GDP in a nutshell. It's often summarized by the LCOA plus principles.
LCOA plus I.
Attributable, who did it? Legible, can you read it? Contemporaneous, recorded when it happened. Original, the first record. Accurate, is it correct? Then the plus adds, complete, is everything there? And enduring, permanent, will it last?
Wow.
And that applies to all records, paper or electronic. It ensures total accountability, total traceability.
Okay, so after all that design work, all the non-clinical tests, maybe even huge clinical trials, now it's finally time to ask for permission to sell it, right? The regulatory approval stage.
Exactly. This is the critical pre-market submission phase.
Yeah.
The gateway to the market.
And how does that work? Is it the same for all devices?
No, it depends on the risk class. For most Class 2 devices, things with moderate risk, like, say, infusion pumps or powered wheelchairs, it's usually a 510K pre-market notification.
510K. Heard of that.
Right. The goal isn't full approval from scratch. It's to demonstrate substantial equivalence. Meaning you show your device is basically as safe and effective as another device that's already legally on the market, a predicate device. And that 510K submission, it pulls heavily from all that design control documentation we discussed, the testing, the verification, the validation.
But what about the really high-risk stuff? The brand new life-sustaining devices?
That's different. For new, revolutionary high-risk devices or Class 3 devices, think pacemakers, implantable defibrillators, you need a pre-market approval, or PMA.
PMA. Okay, sounds more intense.
Oh, it is. Much more in-depth than a 510K. It requires extensive scientific evidence, usually full clinical trials in humans, plus all the lab testing. The bar is set much, much higher.
And the FDA review time?
They have 180 days by law to review a PMA and decide, accept or reject.
And is that decision public?
Yes. After the decision, the FDA publishes a summary of safety and effectiveness data, or SSED. Transparency is key. And, modern QMS software really helps here. Organizing all that data for a PMA used to mean rooms full of binders.
I can only imagine. What about the labeling? The instructions for use? The warnings? Is that part of the review?
Oh, absolutely. Labeling is a huge focus for the FDA, regulated under 21 CFR 801, and it's way more than just a sticker.
Right.
It has to be easily understood by the intended user so they can operate the device safely. And critically, it cannot be misleading or false.
Makes sense. Any examples?
Sure, even something like latex condoms, they have to have an expiration date, and that date has to be backed up by stability testing data.
Okay.
The labeling needs clear indications for use, a description of the device, maybe even a brief overview of how it's made.
So it's not just, is the device safe? It's also, is it presented safely and clearly to the user?
Exactly. And one more check before it really gets the green light for release. The quality control unit. They do a final review and approval of all the records related to the batch being released. This ties into the device master record, or DMR.
DMR. We had the DHF before.
Right. DHF is the design history. The DMR is the recipe. It's the complete compilation of all the documents and information needed to actually manufacture the device.
Oh, wow.
It takes the design output from the DHF and turns it into actionable manufacturing instructions, specifications, drawings, everything. DHF is the what we designed, DMR is how we built it.
Got it. So now the device has the green light. The recipe, the DMR, is perfected. It's ready for mass production. How does a company make sure it's made consistently to those super high standards day in, day out, batch after batch?
This is where the quality management system, the QMS, really comes into play during manufacturing. It's guided by the FDA's Quality System Regulation, 21 CFR Part 820, and also the international standard ISO 13485.
Okay, the QMS in action.
And the whole philosophy here is current good manufacturing practices, or CGMP.
CGMP.
Yeah, it's more than just rules. It's really a commitment, a culture of quality and patient safety throughout the whole industry.
So it's a mindset, not just ticking boxes.
Exactly. It's about continuous improvement. Everyone from the top floor to the shop floor understands their role, their responsibility in ensuring quality.
And people are key here, I imagine.
Absolutely critical. Personnel. You can have the best machines, the best procedures, but if the people running them aren't properly trained, qualified, and frankly careful, it all falls apart.
So training is ongoing.
Constantly. And it includes things like proper hygiene, hand washing, gowning, basic stuff that prevents microscopic contamination that could compromise safety.
Right. What about the place where it's made? The factory itself?
Huge focus. Facilities and equipment. They have to be, well, pristine. Buildings kept sanitary, in good repair, specifically designed to prevent contamination. Think air quality, temperature, humidity, all controlled.
And the machines?
The equipment itself has to be designed right, built right, and qualified to perform reliably. That means regular maintenance and also cleaning validation.
Cleaning validation, making sure it's actually clean.
Yes, but scientifically. Proving it.
Yeah.
You set acceptance criteria, how much residue from the last batch is acceptable based on things like toxicity.
Yeah.
You need proof that batch A isn't contaminating batch B.
So definitely not just eyeballing it.
No way. And this applies to equipment through its whole life cycle, from design right through to decommissioning.
Okay, what about the actual stuff that goes into the device? The raw materials, the components?
That falls under material control. Strict written procedures for everything. Receiving materials, identifying them, storing them properly, handling, sampling, testing.
Every single batch.
Every single batch of incoming materials, components, containers, closures, everything gets tested and approved by the quality control unit before it can be used in manufacturing.
And if something fails, testing.
There are strict rules for that too. How to identify rejected materials, keep them separate, segregated, and dispose of them safely so they can't possibly end up back in the process.
Okay. Now, the actual making of the device, the production line.
That's covered by production and process controls. Think of 21 CFR Part 211, Subpart F. It's the detailed roadmap for manufacturing.
And what's key there?
A couple of things. Process validation is huge. This isn't just testing the product, it's proving the manufacturing process itself consistently produces devices that meet all the specifications. Every time.
Proving the process works.
Exactly. And there's ongoing testing of in-process materials, too. Checking quality at various stages during production, not just at the end.
And how do you track all this for a specific device or batch?
That's the device history record, or DHR.
Okay, DHF, DMR, now DHR.
Right. DHR captures the production history for each specific batch, or sometimes even each individual unit. It proves this specific batch was manufactured according to the approved recipe, the DMR.
This sounds incredibly detailed, like a massive web of documentation for everything.
It is, and it all comes together in the batch record. That's the complete story, like the diary for each batch, start to finish. It's absolutely fundamental for proving GMP compliance when the FDA comes knocking for an inspection.
But, you know, things happen, even with the best plans. What if something goes wrong during manufacturing? A deviation.
It does happen. Even in the best run operations, you get deviations and nonconformances. The key is having a robust system to manage them.
What does that involve?
First, recognize it. Then, document it thoroughly. Assess the potential impact. Investigate the root cause, why did this happen? And then, crucially, implement corrective and preventive actions, or KPA.
KPA, corrective and preventive.
Exactly. It's not just about fixing the immediate problem, putting out the fire. It's about learning from it, fixing the underlying cause, and making changes to prevent it from ever happening again.
Okay. One last thing on manufacturing, the expiration date we see on packages. How's that decided?
Through stability programs. These are ongoing studies that generate scientific data on how the product holds up over time under different storage conditions.
To make sure it works until that date.
Exactly. To ensure it remains safe and effective right up until its expiration date. And like everything else, this needs meticulous documentation, the protocols, the raw data, any deviations proving that date is scientifically sound.
Okay. So the device has made it through this incredible gauntlet. Concept, design, testing, approval, manufacturing. It's finally on the market. But you said earlier the work doesn't stop there.
Absolutely not. The oversight continues, big time. This is where post-market surveillance, or PMS, comes in.
PMS. Okay.
It's a critical ongoing requirement, especially for Class 2 and Class 3 devices. It's all about continuously monitoring the device's performance out in the real world.
Why? It's already approved.
Because the real world is different from clinical trials. You get much larger patient populations, different use conditions. PMS helps identify potential risks or performance issues that might only show up with widespread use. It's a feedback loop.
And companies need FDA FDA approval for their PMS plans.
Yes, and if they want to change that plan later, they need written FDA approval for the changes too.
So what happens if patients or doctors start reporting problems with a device that's already out there?
That triggers complaint handling and potentially medical device reporting, or MDR. Yeah. Manufacturers must have a system for handling complaints. Any complaint, especially if it suggests a possible device failure, needs a thorough investigation. Document everything, figure out the root cause.
And MDR. When does that happen?
That's for serious stuff. If an event involves a death, a serious injury, or a malfunction that could lead to death or serious injury if it happened again, the manufacturer has to report it to the FDA via an MDR.
How quickly?
Depends on the event. Could be 5 days, could be 30 days. These reports are critical signals for the FDA to spot potential widespread problems.
And if a problem is serious enough, can a device actually get pulled back, recalled?
Yes, absolutely. The FDA has the authority to mandate product recalls if necessary to protect public health.
And there are rules for handling recalled products.
Strict procedures. Identify them, segregate them, dispose of them properly. You have to make sure potentially bad products don't accidentally get back into circulation. It's all about patient safety.
It really sounds like constant scrutiny, constant vigilance, even years after a device is launched.
It is, and part of that involves ongoing audits and inspection.
The FDA comes back
Regularly.
Yeah.
Usually around every 2 years for makers of Class 2 and 3 devices. And they look at everything.
Like what?
Is the equipment still suitable? Properly maintained? Calibrated? Are the records complete? Is the change control system working? Are complaints being handled correctly? The whole QMS, really.
And what if they find problems?
If the investigators see issues, they can issue what's called a Form FDA 483. It's basically a list of observations, things that deviate from regulations.
Observations.
Well, they need to be addressed. But if the problems are more serious or systemic, it can escalate. The FDA might issue a warning letter, which is very serious, or classify the inspection as official action indicated, or OAI. That signals severe GMP violations that need immediate and comprehensive correction.
Wow. So it's not just about getting approval initially, it's about maintaining that standard constantly.
That's the absolute core idea, and it all drives continuous improvement.
Always getting better.
Exactly. Being proactive, using risk assessment tools, doing your own internal mock audits, always looking for ways to improve, maybe adopting new technology, streamlining a process, enhancing training. It's a journey, not a destination. Always striving to make things more reliable, safer for patients, because ultimately patient well-being is the only thing that matters.
We've covered so much ground navigating this incredibly intricate multi-layered life cycle, from just a concept, an idea, all the way through manufacturing, and then this critical post-market watching. It's genuinely incredible when you step back and see how many layers of regulation, intense testing, and just sheer dedicated work go into making sure these devices are safe and effective, things we often just take for granted.
Yeah, it really underscores that quality and patient safety aren't just buzzwords. They're not just boxes to tick. They are literally woven into the fabric of this industry.
Right.
It's all built on that meticulous documentation, the scientific rigor, that proactive mindset we kept mentioning. It shows how the whole system tries to balance pushing innovation forward with absolutely not compromising on safety.
So for you listening, we really hope this deep dive has given you a new, maybe profound appreciation for all that unseen dedication, the work behind the scenes for the devices that protect our health and improve our lives every single day.
It makes you appreciate how far we've come.
It really does.
Oh.
And why all these steps matter so much.
And thinking about the future, it raises a really important question.
Yeah.
As technology keeps accelerating, right? Medical devices are getting even more complex, more connected. Think about AI in diagnostics, or personalized implants printed just for one person, or devices monitoring us remotely.
Right, the cutting edge.
Exactly. How will this really robust regulatory framework we've just walked through, how will it continue to adapt? How will it keep ensuring safety and quality right at that bleeding edge of innovation?
That's a big question.
It is. What are the new challenges? What new opportunities arise? How do we keep balancing that super fast innovation with absolutely uncompromised patient safety?
That is a fascinating thought to leave everyone with, and it really highlights how dynamic this whole field is.
Constantly evolving.
Well, until next time, keep being curious, keep exploring the details, and always remember that when it comes to our health, quality isn't just important, it's absolutely everything.